I'm Gerald Keaney. Welcome to Keaneysville.
I was going to start by asking you how you felt about being in the Labor Party. We've just had the announcement of an election, and forgive my cynicism, but I know it's shared by a number of people. It doesn't seem that the Labor Party really makes very many changes in the world and in a lot of ways mirrors the policies of the Liberal Party.
Well, I guess I've been in the Labor Party for 30 years. In council, which is where I've wanted to be active, I believe we've made some real changes. In order to be able to communicate to people and to be able to achieve change, I sadly recognise it has to be gradual. The moment you try to make dramatic change, there is a reaction, people dig their heels in, and you'll never see that change happening. What we've done in relation to recognition, for example, of Indigenous people in Brisbane, the Bringing Them Home program that we ran with Indigenous communities was a gradual program over about 3 years. And I think Brisbane led the challenge to people like, to the Hansonism sort of phenomenon of the earlier part of this century.
But there's always the case that you get the reaction with reformism as well. In fact, it almost seems like a bizarre dance that the two parties play out, like the one will always be portrayed as going too far to the left and the other then has to put the foot down. And it seems to me that a lot of these unfortunate ways of thinking, for instance, the racist issue, are hardwired into the way we do business, okay? Like, you're always going to need someone to blame when the market gets it wrong. You're always going to need to divide people so that you can stomp on them and ensure that their wages are kept down. It doesn't seem to me like anything ever changes, you know? You look out at the city as we're doing here, and it's as ugly as it's ever been.
Okay, it's interesting because I guess the benefit of being 50, as I am, is you can see change. You would, if you'd been around in the 60s and 70s, the issues around women and the subjugation of half of the population in terms of their ability to access employment, access equal pay, a cause that the Labor Party took up, you wouldn't say nothing ever changes. When you have been around for a while, you will see that in your lifetime you will experience a number of revolutions. Consider for a moment the last 2,000 years, the slow progress, the few changes that have occurred. In the last 100 years, those changes have been absolutely dramatic.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, let's not get too happy about the changes that have occurred, because fundamentally the position of women in society is the same. Okay, a woman might be able to go over to Iraq and be a soldier, or she might be able to perhaps become a executive officer, or very few women might be able to. But fundamentally the position that they occupy in the society hasn't changed that much. And where it has changed...
How can you say that?
Where it has changed...
How can you say that women are not infinitely more, have infinitely more options than they had even 20 or 30 years ago? Well, you're not a woman.
It's easy to say that because you can see all the pornography that's around. You can see the way that women are treated socially. You can see the role that they play in the family still.
When you say how women are treated socially, we have sexual abuse. I'm saying sexual abuse was a norm 20 or 30 years ago. It's now regarded a bit like, you know, smoking indoors as something that you don't do because you respect the rights of other people.
But isn't that because people have struggled against it rather than because these politicians from on high have granted these?
For example, equal pay. I mean, I know you may...
How does that fit in with the Labor Party if it's people struggling?
Okay, when I started work 30 years ago, women received less pay than me. You're saying that's irrelevant. That doesn't make any difference.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I never said that.
Well, you said there hasn't really been any change.
I'm saying...
No, you know who changed it? You know who changed it? Can I tell you? Can I tell you who changed it? Labor Party. Introduced.
The Labor Party didn't change.
Sorry, the Labor Party introduced a law that required.
People took to the streets.
Okay, look, is this a conversation or an argument? Is there, you know?
No, you speak.
Yeah, okay. The Labor Party introduced legislation which allowed for equal pay, right? Now, I know you think that these things happen by osmosis.
They do.
They don't. They happen because people struggle and because people change laws.
Well, I think that the law has to change once people struggle.
What we need to do is to gradually change things so that those laws enable everyone to experience a more equitable, tolerable, just and inclusive community.
Do you want us to go?
No, I'm right, thanks.